Hi guys, just a quick look here at the CRT SS3900 EFT. I believe SS stands for Superstar. It was meant to represent Superstar. The EFT stands for the Echo Frequency Talkback because it's got a frequency counter and it's got Echo facility or feature, and talkback, which is a talkback feature, and it's really quite nice. This one's in good condition, really nice condition actually. I actually bought this one for about £100. Lost the bid, got outbid by someone, I believe, who was shell bidding on eBay, bidding on himself, and then give me a second chance to buy it, which I took. So it was about £99 or something like that, about 10 years ago. And then I sold it to a friend, an acquaintance I made off the radio, who I traded it in for a Striker 955 HP, and a bunch of other kit was in on the deal. No cash transfer, just a bit of kit swap between us. This, and I gave him this and a couple of other radios or something else, and he had I had the Striker and a couple of other things or whatever. And then I ended up saying to him, if you ever want to sell it, please let me know. And eventually I kept bugging him, and eventually he sold it me back about 2 or 3 years later, because it's a really nice condition one. These radios are one of the last versions of this style radio they made, with the analog encoder and the frequency channel display there. Very old school. If you cover that part up, in fact, if you cover this part up, which is hard to do, but cover that part up there, look, then it's just the same as a sort of same design as a Superstar 3900, which is obviously what it's based on, or a Cobra 148 GTL DX or 148 GTL, the one without FM. So it's that style of radio, but this is the very last of the line of these sort of radios, in my opinion. This is the last. We see it on the outgoing side of things, where we're starting to get more digitalised radios and chips on board technology and tiny microscopic little chips with all the frequencies on them. First started with the Allen, one of the Allen radios, Midland Allen radios, started doing it years ago, and the President George did it, had it all computerized inside, and a few other radios, but this was like a dinosaur compared to those. Really, it is an analog system. I believe it's still got some chips on board technology and stuff like that, or do they call it chips on board or system on board, system on chip? I can't remember. So that technology, I think this has got a bit of it in, but this is still the old school style. Not crystals, not that old, but yeah, quite an old way of doing things, especially with all these analog pots. They're all analog inputs, and these switches are digital, on and off, obviously. So let's have a quick look at this. I don't want to spend too much time going into detail. So I've just recently acquired this VCI Vectronics matcher, which I've tried it on the dummy loader. I've tuned the dummy load on this, so it's not untuned. So I've tuned the dummy load, so we're absolutely 0 SWR. Sorry, 1-to-1. What are we on here? What, on FM are we? AM. So we're on, actually, I better turn it onto the right switch. RF pair all the way down. It does about 1 watt, and the SWR there's on. In fact, the SWR is quite high. Oh, because I know why. Because I didn't tune. Let me just tune this in real quick. Might as well record it. Okay, so what I've done, I've tuned it to a actual antenna, but the SWR is high there, so I think it was the. Oh, there you go, perfect. Look at that, straight on it. Yeah, so straight down. That's about as low as it gets, 1-to-1, yeah. So we're 1-to-1 on the SWR, and that's on the lowest pair on the radio there. Lowest pair on the radio on the RF pair here. So that's about 1 watt on the meter. And if you go up, this is on FM. You go up, and we're doing about 8-9 watts, which is about right for these radios. They don't really do any more than that. I think they do about 15 watts if you really crank them up, or 17 or something like that. Let's just have a look at the old. So the SWR's crept up a little bit, but yeah, look at that. We can get it all the way to nothing. Yeah, it's as low as it gets, and we're doing about 9 watts there on the left-hand side there, and virtually nothing on the return pair, which is about right, obviously, because we're on a dummy load. But we're tuned. Unfortunately, this has got the type of dummy load in it where it's 1 to 1.5. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, it's not going to hurt the radio, but I'd rather just tune it. Whether that's right or wrong, let me know in the comments if I'm doing the right thing, or should I not bother tuning it. But there you go, anyway, I like to see it as a flat SWR. So 9 watts on FM, On AM, let's put the PP function on, the peak hold. AM's about, I think it's up to about 20-25 watts. Yeah, about 25 watts PEP and about 9 watts on there. And when I'm talking there, you can see it moving, that's good. And on SSB, about 20 watts, 22 watts maybe. And obviously no dead key, so. Yeah, struggling to whistle here for some reason. Yeah, 22, something like that, absolute max. Anyway, let's get back to the radio. I'm not looking at the matcher again today, or the antenna tuner. Let's just try to do this carefully with one hand. There we go. So, that's it really. Just wanted to go over it real quick. So, there's the pair outputs. Obviously, I'm on the test channel now, but I'm not transmitting on the air. But let's do a quick test on the old talkback. So, here's the talkback. I think it might do a bit... Oh, yeah, I thought it might be a bit more too powerful. The volume control, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, I think the volume control is actually set. I better back off. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's okay. 1, 2, 1, 2. That's the, I think the talkback volume set on the inside. This radio has been actually changed. The next part's been changed on the inside to a Magnum S9 echo, and the more you turn it up, the more volume you get, and you also get more delay. So 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Hello. 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 And I think you get a long delay. Hello. 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 Yeah, it gets the mic key there. Hello. 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 So yeah, some interesting echo effects. And if I have to sit back from the mic, I suppose I could do the mic gain, couldn't I? Yeah, there you go. Okay, so yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. Quite an interesting echo effect on the radio. Quite nice. On about a third there maybe, and then 2/3 if you're on a real long one. It keeps repeating. So quite a nice, absolutely useless in actual real life echo. 1, 2. Yep. So. Yeah, so quite a nice echo feature actually. Also, these radios I had, the Roger Beep 1, 2. It does. This radio does that. 1, 2. 1, 2. That real short Roger Beep until it warms up. Then it does a proper Roger Beep. Very odd feature, but it's never failed. It takes about 5 minutes and then it comes on to a full Roger Beep, the usual beep. So I don't know, a bit of an odd feature, maybe a fault, but it's always been like it since I owned it the first time. So, what else can I say about it? It wasn't meant to be a review. I was just having a quick look at it and warming it up. Yes, so it had the Magnum S9, which is I like the Magnum S9 Echo board. It's got one of them installed in, because the original Echo board, when you turned it on or when you turned it off, I can't remember, or both even, was really muffled. The FM was terrible. Don't get me wrong, it's not the best radio on FM now anyway, but it was awful audio on FM because of that reason. Because I said to Steve, the guy name was, he lives in Lincoln Way on. I can't remember his handle or his CB name. So Steve, who I did the deal with, said to me, "Yeah, mate, the Echo board was making it terrible," and he gave it to his friend, which I think was Nick Black Spirit, maybe. You know, anyway, and the guy, the rig doctor who repaired it or changed the Echo board, give me a Magnum S9 board or give the radio one of those boards. So it's a really nice, in my opinion, and a great Echo board if you like that sort of thing. It's obviously not very practical, it's just a bit of fun. But that's it, guys. So now just a quick look at the radio. I'd say it's one of the last, in my opinion, as far as I'm aware, one of the last old school, apart from maybe the Jackson Classic. That was a nice radio. Jackson 2 Classic, was it? That looks like a nice radio. I've never owned one of those. But this was the last one before they started this was the last one of the sort of, dinosaur breed radios, In my opinion, again, it's just I've noticed things going, and then after that, they're all the classic versions which try to replicate the old days or the new stuff, which is quite nice. I like the new stuff, but this is they're not these as well. They fetch about £250 nowadays, if you're lucky, but they don't really fetch less than that. They don't go for less than that, but they do. So they command a bit of money if you if you can get it, sort of thing, if you get the right people interested. But they are fairly rare, but they're not great. Let's be honest, they're not the best radio on the face of the earth. They're not some legendary radio. They're just adequate. They do the job. Very reliable, I'll give it that. Very, very reliable. I've had a lot of use out of this, and it's always not even a bar out on the display or anything like that. You watch a bar go out now. No, so nothing, absolutely nothing. Perfect. I must have dropped on a good one. I think Simon the Wizard did a review on one about 10 or 15 years ago, something like that ish, or a while back, and he said he had all sorts of problems with the mic jack on the side, and one of the segments was gone out on the channel display, I think, and all there's some marks on it and all sorts of rubbish gone wrong with it. So yeah, I think I dropped on a good one, and when you get a good one, in my opinion, they're good radios. A bit scratchy on FM, as Simon the Wizard as well said. They're scratchy on FM receive, which they are. Fantastic receive on AM, in my opinion. Pretty good receive on SSB. Let's have a quick listen if we've got anything. Not very good on FM, but I don't think they're built for FM. Let's try that antenna and 555. Not a lot going on, to be fair. Nah, not much going on. Nah, it's been flat the last few days, so we're not going to hear anything. I just realised I'm on FM. I should have put it on sideband for channel 12, but it doesn't matter. There's nothing on anyway. Couldn't hear anything.
I told you now what you're going to catch.
Actually got a real nice squelch on it as well, to be fair. Yeah, so it's been a really good radio. Maybe it was tuned really well by Nick, I think. Yeah, maybe it was. Probably. I like Nick's works. He works, does some decent repairs for me. So yeah, shout out to Nick. Yeah, great stuff. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Bit of a waffle on this radio, but I say I do like them. I like the old school radios. It's not the best radio in the world, but they've got something about them, haven't they? Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos coming soon.